My name is Jeremy Bally. I'm coordinating the Pedaling for Papua campaign. Pedaling for Papua is a 6-month, 7-country cycling and speaking tour. So I'm riding from town to town and doing a multimedia presentation that I put together based on 9 interviews that I've done with West Papuans who are living internationally and identify either as refugees or as living in exile. So we did these interviews over Skype, put them into a narrative track, so they're sort of telling their own story, and then through the sponsorship I was able to set that to an animation that I narrate using spoken word poetry and ukulele-based hip-hop music. Now to the show, and you'll be happy to know that it's not just me who is showing up, so I've got to be abrupt. I'm checking the time, and times are tough, we must erupt. So it's kind of a theatrical production, and the philosophy behind it is taking a subject which is sort of violent and just difficult. It's a hard story to digest, and to make it entertaining and even a little bit fun. So I started cycling on May 25th out of Victoria, British Columbia, and went through Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, Toronto, Ontario, Ottawa, major Canadian cities, landed in Montreal before heading south to Washington, D.C. And from there flew to Dublin and have come from Dublin into Scotland and then down to London. From here I'm going through Harwich to the Netherlands, and from the Netherlands I'm flying to New Zealand, going from Auckland to Christchurch, and from Christchurch I'm flying to Brisbane and ending on December 1st in Melbourne. Here's a story occupied by criminalized acts of the tongue of groups that come opinionated, later leaving minus some. Profit margins, missing people, guns blazing in the tropics. You and me, we're gonna make West Papua a household topic. Let's go back. Here I am at 21. And I'm just above Australia is the island of New Guinea. So this is the 2nd biggest island in the world. The eastern half of this island is Papua New Guinea, an independent country. The western half is West Papua. So in the 1960s, Indonesia, following their own independence revolution from the Dutch, entered West Papua with their military. So that followed through to an independence referendum called the Act of Free Choice in 1969. It was West Papuans supposedly voting to become part of Indonesia or to remain independent, but the way the vote was conducted was outrageous. There was about 1,025 hand-picked West Papuans to vote, and they were threatened at gunpoint for either their own lives or their families' lives to vote in favor of Indonesia. So West Papuans have, since the Indonesian military came in, created their own story of resistance around reclaiming their own identity and their culture and their land. The most direct thing they're fighting against is the hundreds of thousands of their people who have died as a result of this occupation. So the group that this campaign is fundraising for is Papuans Behind Bars, which is an international collaboration of groups from Papua and groups internationally as well, to create a database of who these prisoners are. So we're fundraising for them and coordinating ourselves with their action items around getting these prisoners released and reforming the Indonesian criminal code. All my siblings, but we sing things for the same thought. They were born there and I have been brought, and what we want is the same thing. It's an exchange of support, like when a crowd screaming with their fists up brings renewed hope. I want people to come expecting to see an interesting show and then come out of it with some workable knowledge about how to make the world just a little bit more peaceful.